So everyone, thank you so much for this live webinar. My name is Marko Dubočanin. I'm the founder and CEO of Silver Bell Group, and I'm very honored to have our dear guests from Voiso, Mr. Martin, joining us in Belgrade, Serbia. First of all, very welcome, Martin, to Belgrade, Serbia, and thank you again for coming.
Oh, thank you, Marko. It's been amazing. You've been so hospitable. The team at Silver Bell are great. The organization so far, amazing. Last night, beautiful, beautiful dinner. Thank you very much for that. Can't wait for you to join us also in Sofia.
Excellent. Thank you so much. As was agreed, we need to do a short introduction about the company and what we do as a business process outsourcing company. So in general, we are over 1,000 employees. We exist for more than 10 years, and we're the biggest Serbian BPO. We basically focus mostly on sales positions. So we do more than 25 languages. We cover European Union mostly from several locations. But basically, like global companies, whenever they want to sell more within European Union, they would just hire our sales team. This was very interesting growth in the first 7-8 years. In the last 2, we also developed several products of our own. We're in line with innovation and digital technology. We also implemented new services in digital marketing. So whenever someone wants to sell more in any specific country in the European Union, other than just providing junior, medium, and senior and B2B salespeople together with customer support, we also offer marketing services where people can pretty much generate leads and find new traffic to onboard customers for a specific country in Europe. Now, turnkey. We also have, it's a turnkey solution.
It's like a turnkey solution.
And there's a lot of plans for the
Silver Bell gives. So I know you, I know the team. We've been like communicating for over a year now. Silver Bell Group, amazing company, amazing team. Also, sorry for cutting you off, just quick introduction. Also, here I'm Martin, I lead sales at Voiso. So Voiso, we're a 350-person contact center service provider. Very unique in the perspective that 100 people in the team are developers and 50 deal with telco, which is a unique thing in the CCaaS space because they basically focus either on the software or on the telco. We do both. And we have a very, very good symbiotic relationship with Silver Bell because we also provide you with the service. And your team uses us and can use it for its customer base. And together we basically help the end client really have an amazing customer experience for their customers. So super excited to be here.
Thank you, Martin.
Super excited to be with you and looking forward to the talk.
Excellent. Thank you so much. We choose our partners wisely. It takes a lot of time for us to select appropriate strategic position where someone just fits into our service. We have zero compromise towards end users, and this is why we chose Voiso to be our dear partner. And again, thank you for coming here.
Oh, thank you.
Now, the question, basically the first question that we need to address, right, is what brands gain and what they risk losing when customer experience is handed over to AI. So do you want to have like maybe the opening and then I'll just elaborate on that one.
So I would say this is like the big topic now. And it's a really exciting conversation to have here, particularly with you because you're a pragmatic guy. I try to also be a pragmatic guy when it comes to these topics. So AI, talk of the ages, the new industrial revolution. This is the steam engine. So on the one side, and it's a very political topic, on the one side, you have these AI evangelists. This is the new warm bread. This is the new cold water. It's going to solve all our problems. Nobody's going to need to work. Everything is amazing. Yeah? Everything is going to be done by AI. On the other side, interestingly, you have AI deniers. Oh, it's horrible. It's going to take away our jobs. Humanity is never going to be the same again. But like pragmatic guys such as you know that it's neither here nor there. Yeah? And what I would say, it's really an enabler of humanity in most cases. So let's first of all take the first aspect of the conversation, these like evangelists. So will also give a personal example, then hand over the white glove experience to you of me using a fintech provider that I really like. So I'm a guy that travels. I fly several times a month. I have a fintech that helps me transact when I'm traveling, and I'm one of their good paying customers. Because being such a good paying customer, I even have my own bot. My own bot. It's just personalized for me. So 2 weeks ago, I had a scam call. A guy called me, and they were like, "Oh, there was an issue with your account in this particular bank." So I had some fun with the guy. Like, we were talking for half an hour. It was really fun. Funnily, like, I was having a good day. I wasn't too stressed, so it passed. I didn't get scammed, thankfully. Other people, unfortunately, do. Because of that, I reached out to my fintech provider. I spoke with my own bot, and I told my bot, "Hey, bot, I'm one of your high-paying customers. Somebody tried to scam me. Like, send a push notification. Get me to an agent. I want to talk with somebody to share my experience so that other people can be protected." And my fintech provider's bot was just that, and it continued being a bot. And it was not a really good experience for me. So if you're using a platform such as like a tech-enabled platform with a partner such as Silver Bell, if they were using that, Voiso would have identified that this is like an issue and would have seen, okay, this is a chat I need to transfer to a human being. And then an amazing member of Silver Bell would have handled the conversation with me, would have raised it to management, and there would have been a response to something like this. So that would have been a good experience.
Wow. So yeah, it's becoming a very big issue. No one knows how to address the new AI revolution today. It's a very complex topic. Now, I'm really honored to be on this webinar to explain in details how we feel about it and what we analyzed so far. You will find that basically if you read any QBR on any stock exchange regarding the BPO companies, they would hit by at least 90% of their drop in stock prices in the last 2 years only. So you would see, let's say, TTEC going from 100 something to $3 per share because of the AI, fuss and so on. Now, I would like to elaborate this, as I said, after reading a lot of articles, inventing new portfolio products, and speaking to other business owners globally, what we found very interesting. And please, let me elaborate in 2 different streams. So in the first stream, if you listen to Jeff Bezos, how he does stuff, right? So he said, like, I'm not sure what we know is going to happen in a decade from now, but can we focus on what's not going to change? So on one side, you should focus on things that are certainly not going to be different than today. So number 1, people do build trust. It's our tribal need. It's necessity for us to be in a tribe, to trust each other, to gather food, and so on, to survive. All this individualism and self-focus and selflessness, which is happening today in the world, it's really sustainable up to a point where you keep on, going towards depression phase. So let's say that number 1, people will still have to trust people. Even though we can do everything online, people still go to expos to meet each other in person. It's something that cannot change. So that's number 1. What else is not going to change is people be needing more focus and more, need to feel special. Now you have this part of the story. The second part of the story, the second stream, is about a cost effectiveness, the actual utilization of AI, and for sure you cannot neglect the vast majority of jobs that just could be replaced by an AI. So with these 2 different verticals of communication, I would say, we also, in our internal company analysis, we include a third vertical, which is something called generation gap. I noticed personally in our company that all the young guys, I would call them young, from let's say 20 to 30, whenever they use ChatGPT, Martin, they would becoming like more and more seduced. They would feel less and less self-aware, with less confidence. And sooner or later, I would give it 6 months before this employee just entirely shuts down. So he stops thinking, stops resonating, stops giving the conclusion, stops being his own self. His replies are directly ChatGPT generated response and emails.
That's ridiculous.
And then you don't really generate anything new from a new employee. However, if you go for more senior people, which like us, fortunately grew up without any digital toxicity, so-called these days, and you were able basically to build your core foundation, non-digital version, then you use ChatGPT in a very fruitful way because you just know exactly what to ask, how to prompt it, and so on, how to use it. Today it's called co-intelligence. And this is the main focus of the next 10 years, which I doubt is going to be changed. First of all, you cannot neglect technologies, but everyone who is over-invested in AI should not forget that co-intelligence, how to use it, and how to actually put it in practice is the only topic relevant today. And we dedicated a serious team in the R&D sector in our company, and we found several solutions, which I'm going to talk to you a bit later on. So again, I believe that one vertical going towards the, what's not going to change, we can predict that one to a certain point, that people will want, faster service. They want to be treated personally. They want to matter. Everything is personal. Everything is subjective. People are becoming selfish today. So I do want to matter. If you only treat me with an AI, who am I to you? I'm no one. I'm not going to use your brand. Another vertical using only AI,
so if I can only just cost effective. Take three topics that you raised here. So three that I really, really like. So the first thing that you raised was a statement by Jeff Bezos. So I really love this guy. There's a really, really nice speech of his where he explains about a situation that he was discussing with his customer service director. So Bezos' customer service director says, our metrics are amazing. Yeah. All the tickets are handled quickly, calls are resolved immediately, etc. And Bezos feels like there was some anecdotal evidence that this is not the case. So during the board meeting, he calls the call center, puts the phone down on speaker. I think you know it. I think a lot of people listening do know this one. And half an hour they wait. Going back to the story that I gave with my bank, the bot probably said handling time 5 minutes, time to first response 1 second, and time to resolution 6 minutes, ticket resolved. Yeah. So the KPI that was generated was very false because I had a bad experience. So this is the one thing that I'm taking out. So first, the metrics that we usually measured as companies to see our success, to see the BPO success, to see how our contacts are operating, are already outdated. And with partners who can analyze the context of a conversation in both voice, chat, and other elements, can have a total contextual idea and score these conversations. This is where partners such as Voiso come in, where the contact center is aware of the communications that's occurring, it's sending everything and it's scoring everything. And we have this it's a really nice thing. Whenever we have a call or a chat with somebody, I use it internally. All my calls are scored. I check my score, I learn from it. And it's not average handling time, capture time immediate. So the way that we look at KPIs needs to be renewed. So this is the Bezos part. The second thing that you mentioned was ChatGPT and people becoming dehumanized. So first of all, thank you, because I'm actually 31. So I'm right in the middle between these generations. But the really interesting thing about ChatGPT and the way I look at this is, did you cheat in school? No, serious question. Did you cheat in school?
It was a long time ago, maybe. A little bit.
So I think we all at one point in time cheated in school. I did as well. So when my parents were explaining to me how they cheated in school, they had small papers on which they wrote. They would take out the paper, read, and then write an exam. The way I did it, we had a phone in the toilet and we would Google on this phone in the toilet. So very interesting, both of these examples. So the first example transferred to business almost immediately. Everybody has a sales script. Yeah, you're cheating when you're using a sales script. When I got my first jobs, and today I Google a lot. I get a lot of information from the internet, the sea of knowledge that's right in front of me. I used to cheat by Googling. Now I use Google at work to be more efficient. Do you know all these like videos now on social media? It's really crazy. People going to interviews, and while they're having the interview, there's like a ChatGPT prompt.
Oh yeah, I saw these.
And they're responding like during the interview.
Yeah.
I think this is the next step in the way that we're more effective at work. So while you're having a conversation with the customer, you need to be enabled by AI, these smart scripting tools, and this is something that our product team is super excited about. And these kind of smart scripting tools, they can really, really help support sales, in particular sales. Like, you can't be on your feet 8 hours of cold calls as an SDR. But if you have a smart script, you're there. So I think like there's this synthesis that can be had between tech and people to, in the end, actually give a good customer experience. Because I want to be responded to immediately. I'll be happy if a bot responds immediately and solves my problem. If my problem is more serious, I would rather go to a human. So that's the really, really tight balance that needs to be found.
I agree with you, Mark. So as we spoke, like this trust building is the key element. However, there are two types of conversation, which is really crucial to understand in today's business. First one is transactional. Second one is relational. The transactional part of the business is pretty much, I just want to know the working hours. Do you have it in green color? Or do you have larger size? Can it be delivered 2 days from now? I feel ridiculous if an actual time spent on an agent, ever happened for this simple transactional conversation. Right. Everyone feels good choosing to speak to an AI about just booking your haircut or just having, to ask
you would feel bad if you waited.
Transactional questions. And this is why I'm afraid most of the BPO companies, especially working from the cheapest possible places in undeveloped areas, are not going to be able to speak to high-end users and customers because they are looking for relational conversations. It makes us human at the end. Now, if you look at for example, at call centers speaking to people in Europe, from Europe, over here you have like very much developed focus on sarcasm or actually listening to someone, having empathy, enough emotional intelligence to address someone's question. And this is usually not a just closed answer questions that you need to answer. It's an open question. You need to discuss it. You need to feel someone. Someone needs to relieve or, just release their stress. It's very important that you have someone who's intelligent enough. Now, given this said, again, if it's not transactional, it has to be relational conversation. In today's world, Martin, what I see is that people are becoming ready now to differentiate what they need from each customer support. If I want to book at a restaurant at a local bar or I book a table at the local bar or restaurant, I don't want to speak actually to human if it's very simple, right? Yeah. But if it's something like I want to find a good, school for my kids or I want to pick a real estate that I want to buy, it's not something which is ever going to be an option to do it with an AI. First of all, people are very tech friendly, but they neglect the oxytocin part. They neglect the behavioral part of human. They just neglect the chemistry. Imagine, Martin, me and you, we just finished a business deal. We agree on all the terms, a very big business deal. We cannot kid around it, right?
Yeah.
Today, we just signed. We need to stand up and not even shake hands. It's inappropriate, right? It doesn't feel good. Why doesn't it feel good? You have to touch someone. You have to share your energy, your emotions, because if you seal the deal, you have to have a handshake. For you to be physically touching another person means, that's it. I trust you and you trust me. So
that's why
just to wrap it up. Yeah, just to wrap it up, pretty much people are comfortable speaking to an AI for silly questions, stupid transactional, communication and so on. And this is why I believe minimum, like 30 to 40% of global outsourcing stuff is going to fail, especially which is so simple, let's copy, paste, repetitive questions. And this is why you just said scripts don't work. Now, if you put it in a B2B sector, would you ever buy something significant, like something strategic for a family from an AI, which is prompted by someone else who's maybe a millennial or even a baby boomer? I'm not really sure. I need to trust someone to dedicate my time, energy, and efforts to, on a long-term basis.
Took a while to choose the diapers. I did use Perplexity though, but yeah, you're 100% correct. Like, we're both in sales. Like, we are people who enjoy selling. We are people who enjoy communicating with other people. It'll be an unfortunate world if nobody did that anymore. It will be a very boring world if nobody did that anymore. And again, like, we're here in person. We shake, we hug. This is natural. It's always going to be like that. And I agree 1000% that menial communication is going to be automated, 100%. And this is a good thing, because when you have a small issue, it's going to be solved quickly. But systems and processes need to be smart enough to identify when something is important or not. And again, this is a value judgment that a system needs to do. And that's why it's becoming more and more important for system providers and human resource capital managers to really work together. This is why the partnership that we have is extremely fruitful, not only to us, but also to our customers.
Now, without a doubt. So first of all, if you don't measure, what you measure is what you get. Now, the people who don't measure, they really don't know where they are. And this is why we use mostly Voiso, because, like in most of the cases, Voiso will give you like clear line where you're at, what you need to improve, what's the metrics and KPIs. Absolutely. And this is something that's not internally right now our focus, because we have you guys. But most of our time, we just go towards just building the hyper-personalization approach towards end users so people are understood. You also mentioned, Martin, one very crucial thing is like the script part. It's pretty much cheating, right? So you just copy and paste what the AI can do better. It means you're not listening. It means you're repetitive, and that's a transactional communication. In today's world, please focus on every single website. There is no doubt that a kid in a basement in a village in the middle of nowhere with AI can build perfect video, right? Perfect content, the text. all of a sudden, every single email is amazing, right?
Yeah.
All of my juniors are writing CEO level emails better than I do, so I start to lose trust, and I need to detect who's actually true about what you do. The CEO of Emar Group from Emiratis, he said, like, if you're really honest and true about what you do, this is really crucial part that people will start to trust you. So we always will be buying stuff because, we see the value proposition, we know that it's for us or not for us, but we need to trust it. Like, people invested zillions in brands so they can build it up. We have to trust it. All of a sudden, you guys flew over to Belgrade, Serbia to visit your favorite clients, right?
Drove.
Yeah, you drove here. Yeah, by the way, you drove here. But still, we feel better to speak to each other in person to build trust. Technology is amazing, but for sure, if I have a good relation with people, I would choose to feel better. Do not neglect emotions. We are emotional human beings. Today's impression and anxiety comes from feeling lonely. Everything is perfect. Everything is sold to us. No one wants to give the attention to what you actually feel and what you actually need. Now imagine a customer support person backed by your technology, given, let's say that we just spice it up a bit, has a real lifetime suggestions on a video call.
Smart scripting.
So they just give you like, oh, this is the best hint. Like maybe this guy, you're going too fast, you're going too slow. Maybe you need to change the tonality. Maybe you need to speed it up. Maybe you need to speak a little bit slowly, just to have some hints which are going to help you instead of script. But you have to be yourself. You have to listen, and you cannot cheat. Simon Sinek said, you cannot cheat. You cannot lie about it and tick it over and over. He's true to the guts. The reason for it is because people do care. And at the end of the day, when you go home, you touch yourself in the bed and everything is okay. What you felt is more important than what you did. And this is the whole idea about outsourcing. People do not have enough focus, priority to build entire customer support in-house. And this is why Silver Bell Group is growing rapidly, because this is exactly what I'm born and raised to do, I love it. So I really feel comfortable with, where this is going with an AI. I'm very happy to see all AI enthusiasts pretty much, implementing their technology, but this over optimism that's going to replace like 70% of the job is literally not true.
It goes to the beginning of the conversation. Like, we're not going to a utopia where nobody's going to work and AI is going to do everything. But I would urge against going too far in the not useful at all part, because we kind of touch KPIs here, and I would double click on them. So particularly, what is really important, the quantity of interactions people have with each other. The quantity of interactions between people has never been as voluminous as now. The quick responsiveness that people expect from a business has never been this high. It's really amazing for CCaaS providers because we charge per interaction. So it's really great for us because the amount of interactions is blowing up. Amount of chats. Everybody has chats on multiple channels. People want to be serviced on multiple channels, be it WhatsApp, Viber, Telegram, etc. Voice. So the amount of interactions is becoming massive. The amount of communication that a business needs to have with its clients is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and companies cannot handle it. Companies cannot maintain a positive brand when people need to wait to get a response. So we really need to be enabled by tools, because anybody that works in a BPO or in any other business that hasn't outsourced, that needs to speak with clients all day, you're talking with clients for 8 hours. The amount of interactions is growing. You can't keep being 100% for all the time. People still get burned from all this interaction. So something needs to support them. This is why actually the smart scripts that you're referring to, in my opinion, this is going to be the most important advancement, because when people get overloaded, they might make mistakes. Mistakes are the quickest way to lose trust with your clients. And especially when we're partners with, such as Silver Bell, you really know how interactions go. You really know volume of interactions. You really know your figures. So when are people going to talk with your client? How are they going to talk with your client? At what times peak amount of interactions? Because it's not like a line graph. It's a...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like last week it was Amazon. One of their servers went down. Imagine what happened to the call center, the contact center. So when you know this stuff, when Silver Bell knows this stuff, and the team is enabled by cloud-based solutions, Voiso, you can really scale up how many interactions you can service. Now comes a very important point. This is what we discussed last night, and I want to throw
see the
this.
bait coming here.
I want to throw this wrench here. So you still charge per head.
Yes, we charge per head.
But you sell interactions.
We do sell interactions. Okay, go on with the question. I'll elaborate.
Okay, so you charge per head. So when you charge per head, you're competing head for head. So 50 years ago, a head in the US was very expensive, so they started going to India, Philippines because it's cheaper. They go to Serbia because the quality and price that you get per head is amazing. Yeah? This is why we have such a boom of BPO services in Balkans. I'm from Bulgaria. We have a lot of BPOs in Bulgaria. Serbia, amazing, booming BPO space. Romania, there's a nice BPO space. Albania, because you have great people who love to work, they love to help clients, and the head is cheaper. But now you have chatbots and voice bots that don't cost per head and actually are a very competitive price per head, and they handle interactions. So when a business is looking at, do I need to work with a BPO? Do I need to implement a voice bot? They look at, what's my price for interactions, not what's my price per head anymore. And I'm just super excited to hear your idea on this topic, because it's been mulling in my head for a while.
So Martin, it's a very interesting topic. I usually have it with my customers, and I couldn't disagree more. So absolutely you got it wrong. So I completely disagree, and this is how it goes. So usually the game we are in is not comparing prices head to head. Like you have a guy in Spain, you have a guy in Egypt, guy in whatever, Cambodia, you know, and guy in Serbia,
Marko.
and see who's going to do the better job. No. Let's go from this angle. The game is to close enough leads so you can actually increase your revenue. If you generated 10 leads and one guy, just let's say that he's like from a less quality or less salesy BPO, he closed 1 lead from 10 and our guy closes 3 from 10, right? Do you really care how much it costs, right? If someone generated like triple the revenue just because he was fresh, on topic and focused and disciplined enough, with enough sales skill, tenacity, you know, and all the infrastructure that you guys provide, he was able to close the second and the third lead, do you really compete about the price of the head?
No, really.
Of course not. Now,
This is more
I have to give you
kind of.
another introduction from the general BPO part of view.
Yeah.
As soon as you charge per ticket or you charge per call, you as a BPO, no matter what other guys say, it's absolutely impossible not to get tempted that one representative will work for 2, 3, or even dozen customers. Oh, here we come again. Where's the focus? Where's the trusted at? Now, you as a BPO, let's say that you have an agent which is pretty much busy 2 hours a day. He still have 6 hours of working shift you can fill in. So just give this guy to sell coffee. He should be working for an FMCG product. And then at the end of the day, maybe he should do something, you know, like marketing media manager, you know, just community manager or something like that. So if you give like 2 to 3 roles just to, you know, squeeze the most of an agent, it's not something which is sustainable. It's something which AI is going to challenge.
So that's the
marketing
burnout
up
part,
to a point you can't really imagine. For me, it would be always better to have optimum amount of people, which means that, of course, you have to be in a surplus of at least 10 to 20% of working hours. And yes, we do charge for that. But in the model that Silver Bell Group is showing that works best in the last decade is to have segregated offices, branded in your company values and colors. So you're going to have, let's say, if you're a car company, inside of this specific office for you, you're going to have your dedicated company colors because agents have to identify with your company DNA. It has to smell like your headquarters in the middle of Europe, in the middle of the States or China or Australia, wherever your headquarters is. And then when you put in a good environment, especially people from Balkans that you said are very well raised in the family matters, they know how to serve and they're very street smart, they know how to sell. This is a formula, man, that works. We wouldn't be here today if it doesn't. So just giving that, just paying per interaction gives you the necessary opportunity as a BPO to put one agent into more than one customer, and then they lose focus, they lose sharpness, they don't dream in and out, they don't come to work and off work, you know, just focus on how to sell, how to improve it, because the perfection, the top 20%, how you sell it, that makes the difference between winning and losing. Let's make a difference whether you're going to make it in Europe or no. And this is what we know how to do best. So again, what you mentioned in the start of your question is how to scale the operations. Absolutely. You have to use AI so we don't waste time. Anything above that, if you want to make a value, if you want to make a relational communication that's worth communicating at all, there is no partial agents. You have to have segregated, fully focused, dedicated, devoted marriage to your brand. And this is what we value here. This is what we are building. That's why we are not the biggest BPO, because we don't have like call centers of thousands of people. We are the biggest small BPO, big enough to handle big corporate clients, but still small enough that we can prioritize and help you actually succeed in European Union. So this is the difference between winning and losing. And I also believe medium-sized companies are the ones which are going to survive the
massive ones. They can't.
So you have
really
to be flexible enough, not rigid enough, but still systemized with protocols and support from tech that you have to be smart. So I believe it's a very slippery slope The entire generation is going to today.
So two things here, and you really, really verbalized it well, but two things that I catch here. So the first nuance was the agent that has 2 hours of work on a certain project, but then why have like somebody who has so little capacity? You would need to optimize the capacity. So the amount of agents that you have is exactly sufficient to solve the amount of interactions that you have per project. So by design, you wouldn't have an agent that is sub-capacity, because the system would filter only interactions that don't go to humans. Yeah? Mm-hmm. And you only have as much capacity as is needed to really service clients. So you don't really need to put one agent on multiple projects. What you mentioned does exist in the big BPOs massively. Why? Because they charge per head. Yeah. The second thing that you referred to is this white glove service. So what you do is really white glove service.
Yeah. So you really, first of all, you touch a very important question here. So how you grow and make sure that, people know what they're doing. Don't forget, the actual result over here is to increase companies' brand recognition, to increase their value as a brand, to increase their growth, to be able to scale up and so on. But don't forget, the only person between the company executives and my company executives, the only person that's making the difference is the employee himself. The agent really matters. Yeah. Now, it's really about also environment. In such a hostile environment we live in today, everything is unstable, everything is unpredictable. So what we need to vouch for is that one of the employee that works for you, so one of them, they have to be feeling certainty. Just read about Tony Robbins' 6 human needs. Number one is certainty. They have to feel secure at their job. Outside is danger. So internally, they have to feel good about it. You need management of encouragement, good motivation, making sure people are learning. It has to be individualized for the person, and also for the end user of our customer, it has to be also personal. So just don't forget, in all of the tech space, that at the end of the day, after the AI just covers first 30-40% of communication, which is transactional, that you have to have fruitful environment for an agent, for an employee, which is going to do the conversation with an actual person who needs to buy, sell, just complain, or he needs any services provided. Now, you mentioned also white glove services. Now, this is really just a buzzword in the BPO. It's a buzzword. Everyone says it's luxury. Everyone says it's a white glove. What really matters,
but everything you just said is exactly white glove.
Yeah.
You're branding it so that they feel like they work at the
But this is the core point, Martin.
You're creating everything so that every single agent is dedicated to one client, and you want to maximize the amount of human interaction with the end customer.
This is the point, Martin. If you go online, totally you just type in white glove customer support service, best BPO in the world, you're going to see a list of like hundreds of companies which can do the white glove service.
But that's some
it's
SEO.
Not true.
That's some SEO bullshit.
Oh, exactly.
Like, this
now
is just
we're
SEO
the point that we're talking about the entire day.
But what we're talking about here is reality.
But reality is you don't trust the website. Here we are. So if you don't trust the website, it means anyone can do ChatGPT, give me what's popular, let's make sure everyone likes my website, I have enough impressions and clicks. Who really cares? Everyone's design is perfect. You can just choose a logo. Used to call like $4,000 or $5,000, to make a good logo of a company. Today, for free, you have 200 options. You just scroll down, swipe left or right.
Video, you can do it with Sora.
Exactly.
It's insane.
It's ridiculous. So no one trusts what he sees online. More and more AI content you see on Instagram. Is it going to promote you spending more time on Instagram? Hell no, I don't want to see something which is artificial. We're curious to see what the other person is actually doing. It needs to be true. And this is the whole point. AI needs to replace repetitive transactional jobs. However, everything above that is going to be white gloves or no customer support at all. The only way to keep your brand reputation high up is to differentiate your brand with the high-class customer support, high-class sales approach, with someone who knows how to treat his internal environment with safety, with love, with promotion, with management, with knowledge, and with quality systems like Voiso. This is the only way it's going to be sustainable. And do not neglect emotions. They're the reason why we make choices in the first place. But do not neglect technology as well, because it's really stupid and ridiculous to spend human hours and just diluting their focus on what matters on repetitive jobs. That's not sustainable.
Yeah. So you need the enabler in the end of the day, but it's only that. It's an enabler.
Exactly.
It's not everything. So I'm very curious on the future of communication. This is a topic that I'm super interested about. And I would really, first of all, like to hear your idea on how you see communication growing in the future.
Yeah.
How do you see it changing, specifically communication between a customer and their business?
So what I see with this rapid development of AI and understanding the EU AI Act, and all the new documents, which is, of course, Europe is the first one, which is going to start doing the compliance and try to regulate it. Of course, the guys in Far East and Far West, like in China and, other parts of Asia and the States, they will just try to, use the market, get a cash in now. However, I don't believe that this level of adoptance is sustainable. If you amplify the adoption of AI to a higher level, it's really self-destructing pattern, right? So let's say that I would have like a wild guess that a lot of people will just need to know to validate that it's a true content, and how they're going to validate it. I'm not really sure. It's either going to be regulated by an actual acts, or documents or whatever, or so it's just something that we built in a company for the last 6 months. We invested heavily in this technology. So we want to build like a video customer support where pretty much as soon as you scroll on the website and you see like everything is beautiful, you have every single animation you can think of, you still lack the trust. The only way you can actually have trust if you can also see, I guess the AI voice is going to be upgraded exponentially to the level you can't differentiate. Fair enough.
It's very
all
close.
The languages,
by the way, it's very
AI
close already.
Translate. However, don't forget, communication doesn't have to be only verbal, right? So when you speak to someone, you really know how they feel because you look at their eyes, you see the mimic on the face. It's like more than 300 muscles on anyone's face. It's very crucial to know if someone is trustworthy or no.
Gesticulate as well.
So I believe that today's generation is going to move forward to having an easier approach and access to video communication without a doubt, just to build any type of communication with these guys. I'm doubtful about the shyness. I see the new generations are much more shy than me and you, right?
I would argue. So I would argue quite a bit here. So first thing I would argue about is we don't choose how people communicate. So initially, the quickest way to communicate was via phone. So everybody communicates via phone. But as soon as some basic technologies that relate to messaging started propping up, people started using them massively. People started sending texts via email. Text didn't exist yet, but they were literally texting via email. So WhatsApp saw this, Facebook saw this. They started creating many messaging platforms. And they became insanely valuable messaging platforms. And so first, people actually really like to communicate quickly via message on simple topics. On more important topics, and this is a metric that we're seeing, and a lot of telcos actually raise that, there's a very high amount of data usage because people don't text as much. They call. They call on WhatsApp, they call on Viber, they call. So people really want to text a lot, get quick responses on text. People want to talk on voice a lot. They want to have quick responses on voice. But where the tendency is moving in terms of future communication, especially the younger kids. My sister is 20. She likes to communicate non-stop with tons of people via various channels. And with every single business she interacts with, she's non-stop communicating with them. So what's going to happen? We're going to be communicating all the time, over all channels, at the same time. And this is going to be a massive, massive load on businesses. A lot of businesses are going to get very scared. And this is happening now. And there was a study by MIT a couple months ago that 95% of businesses implement AI because there's so much communication coming in. So they need AI to handle all this communication, but they fail. They don't run a profit. But when you drill deeper into it, yes, that did happen when you didn't work with partners. And these partners help you implement it. So the amount of communication that's going to happen is going to be more than ever. Yeah? Businesses are going to need to respond to their clients immediately. Otherwise, they're competing with 10 other guys after the same thing, for the same price. So in the end of the day, it's not only the choice of the BPO or the contact center service provider or anybody else. The world is moving. And business leaders see that the world is moving. And their clients want to communicate with them nonstop. They want a response immediately. So we really, really need to be a part of this wave. And I believe that you guys are uniquely positioned to ride this wave by being an enabler of your clients using various technological tools to communicate in the best possible way with their clients. So that what happened with me, beginning of the conversation, we talked about my bank, how I had my own bot, and I talked with the bot, but didn't go anywhere. So that's a bad implementation. But if you worked with somebody who has a lot of the culture of Silver Bell, but is also ready to go the next step to enable multiple technologies, be it in messaging AI, voice AI, smart scripting, the end user experience is going to be, in my view, amazing because they get responses immediately.
Yeah,
and I believe we work together in that direction.
We have
this
to
is
be
my
skeptical
belief.
about it. Now, you said like a lot of things that which you fully agree. I'm not sure to which level brands will be protected if we over communicate. Don't forget, there's a big trend now, digital detox, startups trying to, just help individuals
I do that,
to
by the way.
relax a little bit, just to communicate less, and to just to go into introspection, to take care about themselves a little bit, to go to nature and so on. I believe that per head, every single user is already communicating so much. People are now communicatively intoxicated up to a level that we shouldn't be stupid enough, or the strategy should be very solid to approach this communication in a highly humanly fashion. You're absolutely right. Technology has to support that one. But in today's world, it's impossible. It's impossible to grow without outsourcing your communication, customer support. Someone needs to put that to the top of their priorities, because if you have any flaw in your communication, you're just not going to be in the market in a few years from now. If you're not innovative like Voiso is doing, like Silver Bell is innovating all the time, this is our topic day in, day out. And if this is like topic which is your priority number 10, you're not going to be in the market in a year from now. But what I'm saying here, I understand that, profitability for my company and for yours as well is the amount of communication interaction. However, I will lose my customers and I will lose a lot of trust with my customers if I over communicate, if I spam, if I'm boring, if I don't communicate in the right channel, in the right manner, in the right accent, from the right time zone, right? So this is why I decided to have this strategic position to focus on Europe only. And then you want to target someone in France, you have to speak like a French guy. You have to be sarcastic for English guys, because these are guys which invented sarcasm, right? And you have to approach them in the right time, in the right way, and you have to know things that they really want you to know. Now, this is why the system is very important that you guys are using, because we can analyze what someone actually needs. She's not just one number in a CRM, and the business today will not allow you. It will not allow you to survive the next decade if you just neglect and treat your customers as a number. If that's my number one priority, you should outsource today and just feel the benefit and ride along the curve. 100%. Otherwise, you're just neglecting this. So what you said about technology and what you said about communication, it is growing rapidly. But per head of user, I'm quite sure everyone will try to communicate less in quantity, more in quality, to make sure that's no compromise with his, actual freedom to express what he thinks, that you know what he needs. And when he doesn't need you, it's better to keep silent, just to make sure you don't jeopardize his, rights, his feeling, and his, space for freedom. So we should be very skeptical not to over communicate with the end user, but to target that in the right manner, in the right accent, in the right, way. And just to, when you upsell a customer, it needs to be personal. Otherwise, it's not going to work out. That's it.
That's one interesting thing, actually. That this is what keeps me up at night. Whenever the spear gets sharper and harder, the shield also gets sharper and harder. And in Dune, that's a really interesting part. The spears and shields got so advanced that if you shoot a laser on the force field that they have, it's a nuclear explosion. So they went back to using knives. Yeah, and we're starting with our marketing team to talk about sending people letters, literal letters, like in the mail. So we're going to the knives. So what keeps me up at night is, as there is more AI voice bots, predictive dialers, people getting spammed so much, filters are gonna come, and this is really what's with our product team we talk a lot about. So. There was an advertisement last year by, I think it was O2 in the UK, where a grandmother gets called, but it's not her who picks up, it's a bot that picks up. And the sales agent was actually talking with the bot for a while. So my really, really big curiosity is, how is spam protection going to really impact us who we really focus on outreach? I don't think we're going to have a response to that question now, but it's something we really need to think about. So dialers are massive. Everybody's getting calls nonstop. Companies such as Incogni exist that remove your data so nobody can reach out to you or find your data to call you. And it's a great thing for it to exist. So communication needs to be extremely relevant.
Yeah, but Martin, everything's going to regulate itself. I mean, the nature built it to regulate itself all the time. The more spams you get, no one's going to reply to emails. Then it goes to spam and so on. If I get like 20 AI calls a day, I'm literally going to drop the phone and just complain until, it gets replaced. So I'm not sure about the spams, how they're going to work out. But I believe just when you're over the line, people are just going to, forget about it and pretty much complain about the technology or the hardware, and it has to adopt. So either the market's going to drop. So I'm not worried about that. I'm worried that people are not here and present in today's moment to focus more time. The most expensive resource we have is the time, and actually write a thank you note instead of sending an email. And that's an approach someone's going to remember. Don't forget, when is the last time you received something from DHL? You opened that beautiful yellow envelope. Everyone feels good about it. This feeling.
It's too rare.
No, it's rare, right?
It's too rare.
And it's like, you're going to spend equal amount of money on like dozen emails. Just send a letter or just do a personal call. I'm not sending you anything. I just want to see if you're happy with the product. Is that what you really want for? Just anything else we can do for you? You need to listen. And you cannot bullshit around it. It's going to stay forever like this. And it's coming from a tribal virtue and tribal needs that people have to be collectively supporting each other. And I don't believe this is going to drop. So all these doom scenarios that we are going to be taking over, not going to happen. You just have to find right partners, right technology, people with focus, enough grit and dedication to build it properly.
Yeah, so basically what you're saying, keep it human.
Keep it human. Yeah. That's it, Martin.
Beautiful. So we have a couple of minutes left here. And can we open questions? Can anybody ask us anything? Because maybe we missed something that someone is curious about. And, we can continue talking like this for at least 2 hours. We did this last night. But it's nice to see.
No, it's not easy to stop because this question is bothering us like day in, day out. We have like entire management crushing their heads, what's going to be the future. So I really love the business part. Like, let's see what's not going to change. Let's see what people really need. And let's see how we actually feel internally. What do you feel good about the communication? And this is where we should focus on. We do read all the right articles. We do read all the QBRs. We follow the trends from East and West and so on. We travel a lot globally. We go to exhibitions. We speak to a lot of business owners. And, everything we invent, everything we speak about, me and you, Martin, it pretty much comes from the summary of a lot of meetings, and just...
That's why we distilled the whole conversation to keep it human. But while keeping it human, being human also is, we made the steam engine, the steam donkey, as it was called initially. We created planes. We went to space. So by keeping it human, it's also very advanced. So
cool.
I see that we don't... Team, we have any questions?
Teams, guys?
We are waiting for the attendees to ask us a question, maybe to give them a little bit more time.
All right.
Maybe 5 more minutes.
Couple more minutes?
Yes.
Beautiful. Man, always lovely speaking with you.
No, I like when we have a debate. That's really cute. That's an interesting part.
Oh, come on. This was not a debate. That was so easy on you.
Yeah,
and you were very easy on me.
Honestly, you were. It's like it's a webinar and so on, but the only way to learn is when you're challenged and when someone pushes you with good arguments. So this is what I love. You try to... If everyone agrees in the room, you're in the wrong room, right?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Like... this is something that I wish I could in the future teach my kids, my 2 daughters. They would always try to find where challenge exists.
Yeah.
This is what I told you earlier before the conversation, debate team.
Yeah.
But no, it's fine.
So guys, there's no questions.
All right.
You want to wrap
No
it up?
questions. We can wrap it up.
All right.
Beautiful.
Thank you, everyone. And really more than welcome you guys in Belgrade, in Silver Bell Group. We are proud to announce that in the next couple of years, we're also going to be growing our partnership further. So next time, we're going to visit you in your headquarters.
100%.
I hope next webinar is going to be less than a year from now, just to see where we are today and what we learned along the way. Thank you. We love you and see you soon in Belgrade. You're most invited by Silver Bell Group, and good luck. Thank you so much.
Marketing, here it is.
Guys, thank you. Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao. Nice.
Wow.